Welcome back, everybody. So I know you guys probably have a lot of questions on what the heck we were thinking and how we got here, right? So that's what this video is. We're gonna sit down and kind of discuss how we got here and our thought process on everything. So I think what we'll do is we'll just talk up front.
And then we're gonna answer some of your questions you guys have.
Yeah, which I got them loaded right here. Let's start with like how the heck we even thought about buying a house at all. If you guys watched the previous video, we bought property, you've seen that we had no intention of buying or doing anything. We were just gonna travel on our school bus. And then we leased the old shop where I worked out of, and signs went up. That just started.
Well, he means for sale signs. Like the owners decided to sell that building, which meant that, you know, we had a cutoff date for the lease at that point.
Yeah, which got our wheels spinning on like, what are we gonna do? What are our options? And, you know, our first initial thought was put everything in a storage unit. And I don't know how buying a house even got put on the radar, because being self-employed, I was thinking my only option was to cash anything out. Like, I can't get a loan, right? How did a house even come into the picture?
I think you mentioned that your mom said since you had a company for 2 years that you could qualify for a loan.
Yeah, that's right. So my mom was like, because the thing is, it's always about 2 years. When you work for somebody, it's 2 years. When you have your own business, you got to show 2 years of income to prove that you can make that much money to get any kind of mortgage or anything like that. So my mom put it in my ear that I could get a loan. And you went looking around, and anyways, it was very difficult. So I'm self-employed, and I have had a business for longer than 2 years. So I could prove income, which brings us to why we did it right now. Like, I think we always wanted to get property and do that, but like losing the shop means that the bus building thing was over right there. So we either had to lease something. Basically, if we were ever gonna do it, now is the time. Because I just had a business for 2 years straight, or longer than that, and like I could qualify for a loan right now. If we hit the road and came back, now that there's a gap in the income, which means there is no loan. So it's like, if I was ever gonna do it, it was right now.
I do want to say, because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this, is I'm sure you might be thinking, you know, why not just lease another shop and leave your stuff there like you were planning on originally? Here's the thing. Isaac found that shop at a very, very low monthly payment.
Yeah.
A shop like that would have cost probably like
$4,000 a month, easy.
Yeah. And so it's like, it would be so much cheaper to get a storage unit than to lease another shop. That shop was like very, very unrealistic find. So yeah, rent or leasing another shop was just not an option. Not
to lease a shop and travel.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cheap that we could use it as a storage unit.
Yeah, it probably would have been cheaper than a storage unit.
Yeah. And I'll let Jaylina talk about, like, we weren't really going to be going too far right now because of Ember. And I'll let Jaylina kind of get into that a bit.
So this was a big issue that we have been facing the last few months or so. Ember has very, very extreme motion sickness, and so we don't even like taking her to town at all. Like, it's that bad. She will throw up until there's nothing left, and then she will dry heave, and she gets really hot, and it's just miserable for her. So traveling at all, even just to go grocery shopping, is a big deal for her. And so that was kind of an obstacle that we had to take into consideration in deciding to travel full time right now, because we could have made it work, like if we traveled around her like napping schedule, but it's not a fun time for her. And if you're on the road full time, it may not be realistic to always have to drive when she takes naps. Even like going to Holy Toledo and Isaac's family reunion, like she did not have a great time while we were driving for the most part. So we really don't want to cause all that stress on Ember's body and while she's going through this, because I'm in a lot of parenting Facebook groups and I see this a lot. This is a problem that happens often with kids. They get motion sickness, but it can last for like years. And our doctor said there's nothing that we can do besides just wait it out. There's no medicine, nothing we can give her because she's too small, she's too young. So it was just like something that we were definitely, I feel like it definitely had a hand in like maybe traveling full time right now isn't the best thing for Ember with how severe her motion sickness is.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in having a home base. We used to have the old shop. It was our home base. Like we could go for any amount of time we wanted, and we had our stuff there. We had a place we could come back to. We had a place we could work on. Not having a home base and living on the road full time out of a storage unit with a like very young child just didn't seem responsible to us, because there's a few questions that come up. It's like, what if the bus breaks down again? Like, we don't
have anywhere to go.
Are we just supposed to? We can't live in a hotel
right
instantly or for extended period. We don't want to just land at our family's doorstop with a child. It's not fair to our family. So it's like having that home base was security. Losing that really raised some questions.
Yeah, it made us step back and think, and then getting a storage unit too meant that we would have to get rid of some things that we didn't want to let go of per se, and some more pricey items like my treadmill, the grill. Like those are really expensive things that we would never get our money back on those, and then if we did get something later on, we'd have to replace them. So we would be losing money on some of the things that we didn't even want to get rid of if we had gone with the storage unit route.
Yeah, and mentally, as we started going down like the mental path of like maybe we should buy something, like then there's the loan part, mortgage, and then there's the cash part, which you're not going to buy much with cash unless you have an astronomical amount of it, right? And we were back and forth on that, honestly.
I think the biggest thing for us, because it really came down to the Dorina property and this property.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Dorina property, because the thing about this property was the mortgage. And that was the scary part of buying this property. Other than that, we loved it. But we could never afford to cash out something like this. So the Dorina property had the mobile on it, but that was not usable. We would have had to pay to get that taken out. But we could live there in the bus and we'd have a piece of land. But we were questioning, how is our quality of life going to be with this property versus this property, and Ember's quality of life? And I think that's what it really came down to when deciding to really stick this one out and like go for it and take the chance, is because we feel like our quality of life is immediately so much better, and Ember's quality of life is better from immediately, and growing up in this town. We love this town. So I think that was a big deal too.
Yeah, so it's like, as we started thinking about these properties too, Ember's going to get older. We're not necessarily planning on putting her in public school, but it's like, it's everything. It's the people in the area. This little town, it reminds me of like hippies and rednecks like merged. And like like the people here are so nice, so respectful. We feel comfortable with Ember having friends here, growing up here. If she chose to go to school, we feel pretty comfortable about this place.
The schools are really highly rated here, which we looked into on every property. Like the Dorina property, the schools were not as good.
And also the Dorina property was out in the hills, so it's like having friends just down the road wasn't a thing for her there. Mm-hmm. It was great for us, but we really started looking at her, thinking about school districts and like her friends.
Like her future.
Her future.
Not just our future, but her future and us as a family. So yeah, I would like to homeschool, but if Ember ever decided she wanted to go to school, or if we later on decide we want to put her in school, this is a great school district for her to learn and grow in.
Yeah. And the scary part about this is the thing, I'll talk about this, like the Dorina thing, it was like we cash it out, it instantly solves a bunch of problems, but like she said earlier, our quality of life didn't change at all. We're still living in the bus full time, which, I mean, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. There's nothing else. Like, we had the offices at the old shop. It was pretty much the same thing. Like, we lived in the bus.
Very much smaller shop.
We had the offices kind of a deal, right? And, you know, this place, I mean, we instantly had a shower, a real shower, bathroom, you know, like, I think the washer and dryer was such a big deal. And then, like, basically instantly our quality of life, like she was saying, just changed overnight.
Yeah. And I will say, though, at the shop that we were leasing, we used the offices during the day. Like, when Debbie would come and watch Ember, they would be in the office. Like, we made it, like, her little space for during the day. We wouldn't have any of that at the Dorina property.
Not for a while.
Yeah, not for a while.
We'd have to build it.
Mm-hmm. And we also wouldn't have Debbie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, that was a big thing, too. Is like, here, we're still close enough that, you know, we still get to see them more often. And Debbie can still come out if you know, we need her to. And we didn't... I want to say that we're super grateful for Debbie. She's been pretty much the only, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and she's the only person that we have as our village here, really. Our family is in other states, and it's just the two of us. And so Debbie has been a huge blessing, and I'm starting to get emotional. I don't want to cry, but we're super grateful for Debbie. She's so that was a big thing for us too, is to still be able to, you know, be around the closest family that we have here. Yeah.
And honestly, as soon as we kind of got settled in here, instantly it felt right. Instantly, like, this was the move. I don't even know how we considered anything else. And we've said it in the last video, like, we truly believe we were led here. You know, we had all the fears couples would have, and we almost backed out multiple times. And, like, somehow we kept getting brought back to here. And now that we're here, I mean, I love it more every day.
Yeah.
And Ember is so happy. She started walking within, the first 2 weeks? This was 100% the right move for our family. No doubt. Is bus life over? I mean, full time? Sure. We still want to travel and go experience all these places and go do things. Like, that's still on the horizon. And that brings us back to another reason why we did this and why we chose this property. I have a business mentor who just bought a property in a shop too. And one of the things that he told me was, like, you always want a way for money to come in, not just go out. He told me about a property he almost bought, and the reason why he bought the one he did is because there was chances for money to come in versus just go out. What I mean by that, like, if we would have just bought one of the first properties that we showed in the last video, like, it was just a house. So if we just moved into that house, and the only possibility, we're just paying the mortgage, that's it. Versus here, we're paying the mortgage, yes, but not only do we have the house, we have a commercial size shop that we can make money with. We have 2 Airbnb rentals that we can make money with. Each one of those things could pay the mortgage. And so what I mean by that is, it's, yes, there's money going out, but there's also multiple ways for it to come back versus just buying a house in a neighborhood where it's just going out. Mm-hmm. That was another reason why we chose this place. Mm-hmm. Because it had more than one.
Yeah.
You know, multiple.
And land is so expensive here in Oregon. And so every house that we looked at was just on a very, very small lot, like feet, you know. And so to find something that was, you know, an acre or more, you'd be lucky to find something in our price range. So this was well over our asking price, and we really, like, I mean, it had to have been meant to be. Like, there's no way that we'd be here right now if it wasn't.
Oh yeah, this is way above our pay grade. But like, you know, there's reasons why we were able to get it. It was never sold in 35 years. There was so many problems trying to go through the loan process. Like, and not to mention even now that we're in the place, I was telling Jaylena, it's like, if I was somebody that went and clocked in somewhere 5 days a week, I could never clean this place. This is so much work. And that's another reason why we were able to get it, you know, because most people couldn't do it or want to go through the work.
Yeah, I mean, they had, this guy worked on cars, and he was a tinkerer, and he, you know, built model airplanes and cars, and see, he had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of random stuff, a lot of clutter, and a lot of trash that has accumulated over 35 years, and you know, he has trash piles here and there, and we're finding new ones all the time. And it's like, you know, do whatever you want with your property. That was the way that they wanted to take care of that. But I think Isaac and I are more of like, let's haul our trash to the dump, because I feel like when people have a lot of land, they're more okay with like having, you know, stuff and whatever. But we're left to clean that up, and I think a lot of people would see that and be like, I don't know about that, you know.
There was a person here with a real estate agent looking at this property
the same day,
the first day we drove by it,
and
immediately he was like, "It's just a weird thing," you know. I don't know. It all worked out for us.
And the house is small. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So you either need to be not planning on having a lot of kids or not having any kids. I don't know, like this, because this house is more like an apartment than a house that like a family would buy, because you know, they have more than one child.
Yeah, and we bought equity day one. Like, we bought it under market value, and everything we do here is just gonna go up. And I guess I'll talk about, I am not a real estate professional at all, right? I'm young. Don't have much experience, but like the one little piece of land that I did buy, I learned so much. And I'll never forget JD telling me that real estate is just a bank account. You put your money in, you can always pull it out, and you'll probably get some more back. And I didn't own that little piece of land over there long, and it already went up. And I was like, if I'd have held this another year, when I needed the money, I pulled it out instantly. So, and I think my mindset changed a bit after that deal. So now it's not like, okay, yeah, we're paying this mortgage every single month. It's like, nah. And I'll talk about this too, why I decided to do a mortgage instead of cash, right? Why spend my money when I can spend other people's? Keep my cash in the bank. Yes, I'm paying a mortgage on this place, but the thing about it is, it's all just going in my own bank account. If we ever go to sell this place, we get all the money we spent back, plus some. We're just paying ourselves, really. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just paying a lease where it's gone forever, this money is all going into a bank account, to the bank, and then if we ever go to sell it, we get it back plus interest. Honestly, I was always scared in the past, but like the little bit of dealings I've had in the last year, was it last year? I realized like buying a property is like one of the best moves you can ever do financially. And I'm all about business. Yeah, and my business mentor also told me like all the tax breaks you get, you know, especially having your business at the property. So like that's why we did the mortgage thing versus, you know,
cashing it out,
because it's like once I spend that money, I spend that money, versus I use someone else's money, and you know, I still keep my money in the bank, and then, you know, get it back eventually. But I don't know. Now that we're here, we kind of really like this place a lot. So I'm not.
I don't know if we'll ever leave.
Yeah, nobody here leaves. That tells you like how awesome this area is. Everyone who gets in here doesn't leave here till they die. Mm-hmm. That's not common. And then now that we've been here just this little bit, like I see why. Like we are so hyped on this place. Mm-hmm. I think we pretty much talked about like all of our reasonings and
how we got here, basically.
Yeah. So we're gonna hop into the cues.
Your cues.
Your cues are A's.
RAs.
All right. Let's see what we got going on here. No, this ain't it. Q&As. So I'll start here, and then if it's something we've already answered, we'll just go. Okay. This is from Mike R5735. Congrats on your new property. For the Q&A, are you still planning to travel in the big bus as well? We are still planning on traveling. We're not sure we need that much school bus.
Yeah, we built that to be full-time. But obviously things changed. Yeah. So we are sitting on that thought.
Yeah.
And we're not quite sure.
Exactly. Like that's a lot of bus. I feel bad with it just sitting there.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a bus like Minion now that we have this personally. We're still not 100% on that.
We still plan on traveling. So
yeah.
Yes, traveling in the big bus, it's a little up in the air.
Yeah. And then that's the beauty of this place. Like, while we're gone, it can pay for itself.
Halo, get your butt out of my
We
face.
get 2 Airbnbs going here, paying the mortgage, and we're traveling. That's a win. We still have a shop that we can use at any time, and a house we can use at any time. So it's like, and I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but that's kind of the point. There's so many ways for this property to pay for itself. That's why we're comfortable getting into it. You know, and we might go out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a week, 2 weeks. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, we got a bunch of work to get to that point, but we still do plan on doing, you know, exploration videos,
adventure videos.
Yeah. All right. Next question is from Rachel Pendergrass, US 5BC. Wow, what a beautiful roller coaster of emotions that was. Thanks for taking us along on your journey. So excited for this new chapter for your lovely family, and so happy to support your YouTube. Subscribed, ready to watch and comment along the way. Question I have, moving forward for your Q&As, is you said you're hoping to rely more so on your social media. What does this look like? Do you guys want it to look like for your build business? Look forward to hearing more about your bright futures. Kindly, Rachel. You want to start with yours?
I've been relying on YouTube full-time for years now. And so it's not necessarily going to look different per se. It'll just be a little bit different content. And I think that my channel had been becoming a lot of build videos because I was helping Isaac build, and then I remodeled the peach and stuff. And so the thing that's going to change is the content that I create. So being here, I want to do more like, because we're remodeling and decorating, you know, do it yourself stuff in that aspect, and also move into, you know, getting back to homesteading and whatever that looks like, and, you know, fixing up the property alongside our every now and then traveling videos.
Yeah. And for me, my primary income was social media years ago. And then I started the bus building business. And that was my primary income for years. Everything else is just kind of something I did, YouTube included. But now, you know, with the family, I want my time back. I'm kind of addicted to working. For what that's going to look like for me is I'm going to focus on YouTube more. I'm going to focus on video creation. Also, I guess we didn't touch on this before, is one of the big reasons we decided on this property is because we want to turn half of the shop into a video audio production studio. So Dream Reality Studios is expanding, really. It was never meant to just be a conversion shop. I always meant it to be audio production, video production, as well as creative type builds. But, you know, the builds just paid the best by like a million miles. So that's kind of why that was so prominent. We're going to be less focused on making more money and more focused on just living our lives the way we want to live them. So half the shop is going to get turned into an audio and video production studio. So I'm going to get back into music.
Yeah, and I have the true crime podcast that I started, and I'm so passionate about that subject, and I haven't had the time or the space more to, continue that. And so having, the production side of the shop like allows me to continue to do my podcast, and I'm really, really excited for that. And that's also another, form of income on social media as well.
Yeah, so the media production side, half the shop is going to be a YouTube studio and audio studio. And I'm really excited about it.
I think we both are.
I've been wanting to make music again for years. I know you guys have heard me talk, but it's like it was impossible where we were at. Because living in a small space with everybody in there, like I can't just leave music gear out. So if I want to do music, I have to take it out, set it up, use it, put it away. It comes back to the same concept of like the easier it is to do, the more you'll do it, and the harder it is to do, the less you'll do it. So if she can have a YouTube studio set up it's already set up, and a new case comes out, she just walks out and films it. Like she didn't have to set anything up. She just turns the lights on and turns the camera on. Yeah,
that was a big struggle at the shop because Ember was always in, Ember makes noise. Yeah, she makes noise. And so it's like, if you go and watch those videos, I'm in a different spot every single time. And I have to set it up, and it's really difficult, and it's frustrating because you have to like figure out what it's going to look like. You got to do test shots because you're not sure. But if you just have it set up in there I can walk in there, turn my camera on, and press go. And I know that the lighting's good, everything is framed right, and I don't have to double check and like rewatch it back, like sit down, talk a little bit, go back and rewatch it, make sure it looks right. It's just ready. Yeah, and same thing with the recording equipment. It's like if I'm inspired to record a song, like I just press the button that says record. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a big difference. And we're going to be focusing on that side of the shop more, pretty much that's what we're going to do for money. Now, we do have the construction side. It's always a fallback. We are going to attempt to pay all this with our creative lanes. With that side of the shop and all my tools, like if it ain't working, we can just go buy a van and build it and pay the bills. Like that's no sweat, right? So it's like, it's our fallback. We're going to try and be on this side of the shop, and then if we have to, we'll fall back on this side. You know what I'm saying? You think that answered the question? By a lot? So. Yeah. Okay. Next one is from Rob Yesta, 1855. Have you thought about keeping Minion as a weekend warrior rig? Now you have a place for storage. Yes, the cash should be nice, but long term, some people hold blah, blah, blah. I have considered keeping Minion and selling the Big Bus. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. But yes, that was a thought. It was a thought. Cruella Deville Diabolito 4508. My question is, how high on your list of priorities are replacing those buzzing shop lights? Isaac, this is a great move. Never-ending content, tiny rental, maybe shop space rental, and a really amazing piece of nature. Can't wait to see it all happen. I agree. Have the shop lights already all been replaced? No, they're all the old halogen, like... Oh, are you talking about inside? Inside the shop. Oh, I thought you were talking about outside. No. Are you going to replace those? I would love to, but that takes money. So, I was looking at LED shop lights. We might do a
I don't want to spend the money right now. So
if we do, we'll probably start in the YouTube studio just because we're going to be in there and we don't want that buzzing in our videos and stuff. So
and we'll work our way out, but you know,
studio priority is much higher than the actual shop.
Yeah, because that's where we're going first. Excuse me. Next one is from Dan Morgan 77. So do you sell the buses to kickstart the next creations? Live in the bus and rent some space, or do some vans, maybe G20s. Anything on video is good, even the property tour or chats. Well, Minion's been for sale. I'm definitely actually considering selling the big bus and getting something more weekend warrior-ish. But like I said, there isn't a definite, like, what do you call that there yet? Okay, Laura C 1032, beautiful property, so happy for your family. Have you considered making the area behind the house a bus and van life Airbnb type situation where folks could come for special events, have the 2 tiny homes to rent out, and then spaces with water electric hookups?
So we're kind of like on the side of a mountain, and it is leveled, but I feel like you'd probably have to like be in the Jeep or something to drive up certain parts.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be something that we would, and it's all, you know, not flat.
There really ain't space for it.
Yeah.
Like, especially not a big bus. Like, maybe a short bus could be out front, but like anything behind the property, it is a mountain. Maybe it doesn't come through in the videos that well, but like you're not.
Yeah, and like I said, it's leveled in tiers, but like, the thing too is like we want to do homesteading stuff, and we need room for that. So if we want to get any type of animals, if we want to have a garden or a greenhouse, anything like that is going to require us to use the majority of what we have behind the house for those types of things. And so if we do have friends come stay, we will want to eventually have the 2 buildings built out as like guest house or Airbnbs, whatever. But if it's our nomadic friends and they're in like a big bus or a small bus or van or whatever, there's plenty of room and there's plenty of parking in the front.
And it's not enough room to host an event.
No. And we wouldn't want to have people at our home like for an event, I don't think.
No.
So Ember's awake.
Is she? Oh no.
Okay, bye. She just wants to go walk around.
Obviously, we couldn't get the baby back to sleep. We were trying to film this during her nap time. Didn't quite work out.
She didn't nap as long as we thought she would.
Nah. So, I scrolled through the rest of the questions, and honestly, I think it's the same questions that we've already answered, just in different ways. So, I feel good about taking this out. Is there anything else we should put in here that we might have missed?
If you want to know more about our homesteading plans, you can watch the video I just posted today if you haven't already.
Yeah. So well, I want to say this. Part of the things that I was thinking about when we get settled here is I was thinking it would be really cool to mix up the content on my channel, because it's like my channel for years has been bus building, descend on Ben. Bus building, descend on Ben. Bus building. That's my whole channel, right? Obviously, I want a little more life too, you know? So, I was thinking, it's like, once we get everything settled here, we get the studio set up, I'd like to do, 2 weeks of, doing stuff around the property. A week of doing a song in the studio. And then we'll go out every single week and try and find something new.
Yeah.
Traveling.
I have a question we didn't answer.
Oh, what?
Will we be doing name changes?
Oh. Yeah, you want to go first?
Honestly, when we said Wild Mountain, Isaac said he didn't want to change his name to that. So I thought about it. even Wild Mountain Homestead.
Yeah,
but I feel
I
like,
love that name, but what if we move? That's the problem.
I mean, it would still be Wild Mountain wherever we go.
True. Unless we move to the beach.
Yeah, true.
That's why I didn't want to change to Wild Mountain Homes, because it's like we could be here forever. We could pass this down to Ember, but like, who knows what life's gonna throw at us?
Yeah, I mean, Leave Her Wild still works, you know?
Yeah. A bus life story works as long as I own a bus, but what if I don't?
Well,
What if I start a motorcycle gang?
so to answer that question, I considered Wild Mountain or Wild Mountain Homestead, but I'm not sure that that's something I'll do. I might just keep it Leave Her Wild.
She doesn't. Okay. You're free, child.
And then you can go ahead and answer yours.
I'm definitely doing a name change.
You just don't know what yet, right?
Yeah. I don't want to keep changing my name. The next name or the next brand change I do, I want it to be forever. I don't want to keep doing this. And until I feel like 100% on a name, it's just going to stay what it is. Or until I don't own buses anymore, if that ever happens. So I'm going to keep running under this brand until something hits that's just perfect, that can last forever no matter what I do. So...
I've also been getting the question of will we start a brand new channel called Wild Mountain Homestead? And I don't think that we're going to do that.
We're already overworked.
Well, the thing is like, then what would we post on our channels? And it's a lot to start a new channel, especially after we've already grown so much on our channels. Yeah, we're just going to keep it whatever Isaac's going to name his and probably just Leave Her Wild. And then, you know, I have my podcast channel. Are you going to do anything with your music channel or just put it all on your one?
I'm going to probably just keep it all in one. I've done multiple things before, but then again, like if things change, like it just sits there dormant, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, how often did I really post on the Dream Reality Studios Instagram?
Yeah.
So I'd rather just keep it all in one place, which is actually what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to niche market, and I've always preached niche marketing in the past. That's how you grow so fast. But we got to do what's best for us. You know what I'm saying? That's why we bought a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to do what's like we can actually maintain and manage, and you know, even if that isn't necessarily the best thing to do.
Yeah, I've also had a lot of people express that they want us to do like an everyday update type of channel. I'm considering it, but we'll let you know on that one. That's not anything that's necessarily in the works right this second.
I'm the type of person, I like to commit to what I can keep my word on. I never want to be the type of person that says I'm going to do this or that and then I don't. So that's why it's hard for me to make a commitment. If I make a commitment, I will keep that commitment. I only want to do what I know that I can do and manage. And if I say I'm going to do anything else, I'm going to actually do it. So I don't want to just... Anyways, I'm good.
But I think that covers pretty much everything, hopefully.
Yeah. And we'll make more videos too. So if we missed anything, you know...
It'll
come out eventually. So thank you guys so much for being supporters of the channel. We are officially full-time YouTubers. Well, I am now. Jaylene has been in this game. All that engagement really helps. So subscribe, like, share the videos to your homies, and we'll see you in some upcoming stuff. And if we missed anything, drop it below and we'll add it to something coming out. But we are so grateful for all of you, and we're really excited about the future and what it holds, and I can't wait to play guitar again. All right, we done?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, peace out, y'all. Bye.